Hi, this is a quick demonstration of motion guides in Flash animation. I have a instance of a rocket from a symbol that I created, and I've got myself a background here that I want to have it fly around, and I'm going to have it follow a path. So I'm going to take that rocket, and I've got a keyframe ready to go with this, but before I get started I'm going to right mouse click and I'm going to create a classic motion guide. I'm going old school on this because it just seems to work more reliably for me. And now what I would like to have it do is, maybe I'll tween this at some point. I'm going to have it not really start until this point, so I'll hit an F6 here. And from there till, say, there, I will have it fly from, say, here to here. But I'd like it to kind of fly around in a curve and maybe look like it's going away as it does this. So I'm going to have it sort of scale down in size. And I'm going to have it sort of rotate. And now I want to create a path between those 2 points. And I might have to reset some things here too. So I'm going to go to this guide layer and I'm going to draw a line roughly from where the registration point is in this thing, from here to about here. Now this thing has been grouped automatically because unfortunately I had this object drawing mode on. So I'm going to have to bust this thing apart. The motion guide has to be just a simple line. So I'll break apart, Control B, break this apart, and this will behave much better. That guide should be on its own layer. There it is, so I can bend this thing fairly easily. And maybe I'll have this thing kind of fly around like this, so it looks like it's flying around the planet a bit. And you can hover over points, curve things in. And it looks like I got to rotate where this thing is too, so I'll rotate this guy so he's looking like he's actually flying. And that registration point always shows up when you use the transform tool. So I'm going to have it absolutely make sure that registration point is on the rail. I think of this thing as a rail for a train. And I want to have it go from this point, whoops, maybe I'll have this thing start here. There. So the very first frame it's on the rail, and by the last frame, I better make sure it's on the rail too. This thing will actually sort of snap into place once you get it right. Shift F5 and get rid of this. Good. So I got it there. Now let's put the tween in. I'll create a classic tween. And you can watch and see how it works. It looks like things aren't working exactly as planned, so it's ignoring the guide altogether. And I find that happens sometimes. You've got to be very careful. That symbol there is not the proper guide. So I'm going to take this thing, I'm going to copy, or I'll cut this whole thing out, and I'm going to get rid of this guide. This guide is not working. So I'll turn that off, trash that layer, go back to the rocket, right mouse click, and add the classic motion guide again. Ah, this is a better guide. Watch this thing because the rocket has to be subordinate to it. And I copied that guide layer from before so I don't have to redraw it. I'll just paste it back in place. Got it. Everything else should align, so with any luck at all, it follows the path perfectly. Nice. Phase 1, not bad. Okay. It's kind of like screaming around the outside of this thing doing a curve like this. That may be what you're looking for. I might want to make this thing get a little bit smaller too by the time it gets there. But we can make it more believable if we play another game with it, because it's rotating too soon. So there's one other option in the tween. Select the tween, go take a look at the properties, and watch for this option called Orient to Path. And when you do this, it'll make sure that the rotation takes place, but the rotation is timed together with the curve. So it's going to follow that much more accurately. And that's how you get a really good, accurate track on a motion guide. Hope that helped.